Wait. Lamau saved by a ghost woman.
Hey, he's a ghost, she's a ghost. Why does it not fit?
I don't know, lucky bastard.
Yeah. And they're both humanoid ghost Pokemon. They're not like the usual ghosts that look all creepy and inanimate objects. Also, I do. Also, this is an idea how the if I drew Mobian, that's how I draw the Covenant aliens from Halo in Mobian style.
Okay. Like, wait, hang on. Wait.
It to be docked in a cradle, which is never the way you want to go when you're going portable. So already, those are two things that I think everyone should do when they're looking at a radio for the first time, is put on a good secondary antenna and get some good battery options. And yeah, you can buy lots of these to be able to get on the air. But as far as radio use goes, you always want to focus on two major things when it comes to these analog handheld radios before we even get to digital. Can I get to simplex communication, and can I get to repeaters? So what do those mean? Simplex means this radio is keyed to the same frequency as this radio, meaning if I say 146.580, which happens to be the frequency that we use for a lot of our YouTube Hamfest channels and frequencies, that's the frequency that we're on. So if I transmit on this, you go like, okay, great, it's transmitting walkie-talkie style, is another way to look at it. But when I pull up this radio, which is the Quancheng, so right now I am in frequency mode, and so if I wanted to just type in 146.580, and this is one of the first problems you'll find sometimes, is that I typed in 146.580 and see how it defaulted to 75? And now look,
Lamau.
oh my gosh, it's going from 575 to 600. Well, what's that about? So the problem with that is its step size in how it changes frequencies is too big, way too big, particularly for ham radio use. So we need to change that. I didn't plan on doing this right off the cuff with another radio, but I think we will. So I'm going to go down to step. See how it says 25 kilohertz? Well, we need to lower that. So we're going to enter into that. And we're going to lower that down to like 5. Fine, that'll work fine. So we'll exit. And now I can go to 580. And if I transmit, yeah, now we're in walkie-talkie mode. So that was the first thing that you should know how to do, is take radios into simplex. And how you do that on radios like this Baofeng is you hit the VFO MR button. VFO means variable frequency oscillator. It's a fancy way of saying I can type in the frequency that I'm operating on. And we just did this on the Quancheng. He wanted to type in the frequency, but then he was like, nope, I only work in 25 hertz sizes or kilohertz sizes. So I had to go into the menu, which there's always a button called menu. Notice that the Baofeng and the Quancheng both have an M button or a menu button. And then I scrolled down to step. So that's the fundamental thing you have to understand when it comes to radios. And let's open this up a little bit and include some other radios, because they function a little bit differently when it comes to talking about simplex communications, radio to radio. And that's what we're trying to do here. Simplex does not mean repeater. It literally means you are transmitting and receiving on the same frequency.
Sorry guys, I'm talking to Iron Wolf.
So if I key up on this side and I key back on this side, it's...
Hang on. Olo? I'm back on VC again, by the way.
Transfers over. They're talking back and forth to each other, walkie-talkie style. So let's compare our baseline of the Baofeng. You hit this VFO MR button. How do I do that on what I argue is a much better radio, this VX6R? If I hold down the power button to turn it on, I am in memory mode because I'm literally scrolling through different repeaters that may be in
Olo?
my area. So if I wanted to get into VFO mode, then I would hit the V and the M button. Is that a Yaesu thing? Well, we'll find out as we look at some other radios. But now I'm in VFO mode. So if I type in 146580, if I bring back to my Baofeng, ooh, they're having a bit of fun.
Radios, sex.
Literally, you could spend an entire your
Lamau.
just playing around with this concept of finding a frequency that is not in use in the area you're at.
I know, but I'm in the bathroom as in I'm gonna be here low. I have my phone though low. I can't move yet. Lamau.
This is a signal stuff.
Oh, okay.
Antenna, a little bit of a long.
Yeah, Iron Wolf right now is like taking a shitter right now, so
and they can be packed in a backpack. I have links in my video description for these, as well as the same website, Signal Stuff. Signal Stick has these BNC connectors, which I say is one of the first upgrades you should do to your radio, to go to a BNC connector. Because the advantage of having a BNC connector is that if you had a field expedient jungle antenna,
constipating, huh?
antenna, or a Slim Jim antenna, and yeah, these are different types of antennas, but they have BNC connectors a lot of time for their coax feed line. So this is all feed line, and then this ladder line material you would hoist up in a tree. But once you have this set up, hoist it up really quickly with just a simple line.
Yeah, lol.
Now you're in.
Oh my god, Iron Wolf is constipated.
You're transmitting into it, right? So
Oh my god, oh my fucking god, he's literally laying a fucking egg. Oh wait, shit. Okay. Oh wait, I forgot to turn off the fucking music. Fuck. Stupid fucking me. I'm never playing fucking Castle like Worms Castle Saw again because that fucking game takes too long for me to finish a single round. Like I don't have the attention span because like I just like if it's like turn based where it's like fucking like just the characters and shit. Like I don't like how it's like it has to do with like bases. Like yeah, there's bases in like in the original like the previous like fucking the previous like the previous fucking worms. I just think it takes way too long to play a single fucking match. I don't want that. Like I have other things on my mind. Like I have like I would rather spend my fucking time with like something short. That's why I don't like game matches that take forever to complete. Like give me something that's like 15 to 20 minutes and not like 40 to 1 hour. I seriously do not like games that are like that because too long just makes it like, drags on and shit. Hang on.
Radios, right? So this is a Yaesu.
Actually, wait. Hang on. Hang on. What the fuck? Okay. Right back.
I'm literally scrolling through different repeaters that may be in my area. So if I wanted to get into VFO mode, then I would hit the V and the M button. Is that a Yaesu thing? Well, we'll find out as we look at some other radios. But now I'm in VFO mode. So if I type in 146580, if I bring back to my Baofeng, ooh, they're having a bit of fun. So now we're in simplex mode, which is what we were trying to do.
Come
And
on.
literally, you could spend an entire your entire ham career almost just playing around with this concept of finding a frequency that is not in use in the area you're at and being able to communicate, and then changing out antennas to get a little bit more effective. By the way, this is a signal stick antenna, a little bit of a long boy, but we like these because they wrap up real nice and they can be packed in a backpack. I have links in my video description for these, as well as the same website, Signal Stick, has these BNC connectors, which I say is one of the first upgrades you should do to your radio, to go to a BNC connector. Because the advantage of having a BNC connector is that if you had a field expedient jungle antenna, or sometimes called a J-pole antenna, or a Slim Jim antenna, and yeah, these are different types of antennas, but they have BNC connectors a lot of time for their coax feed line. So this is all feed line, and then this ladder line material you would hoist up in a tree. But once you have this set up, hoisted up really quickly with just a simple line, you can plug into this.
Say the line, Bart.
Your antenna, if you're camping or whatnot, and you're transmitting into it, right? So the same thing can be said for other radios, right? So this is a Yaesu, and we're going to look for a V and an M something, a VFO or a memory channel. And you can see that even though these buttons are really just a numerical pad, down here is a V and an M button. And if you had a memory storage, this would switch it back and forth. All right, so there's the first thing, is looking at a ton of different radios, you can see that they all have kind of a similar nomenclature for whether something is going to be a V and an M, or it's going to be a VFO or an MR, or it is going to be, or if it's a radio like the Quansheng, I see something that says VFO MR, but it also has the number 3 next to it. And if I hit 3, oh, it's just typing 3. It's not taking me to VFO MR. So that's going to be the next thing that's important, is that some of these radios will have multiple things that the number pad can do. And how you access that information or that setting is going to change depending on the radio. So with the Quansheng, for example, if I hit this F button, which stands for function, and then I hit 3, now I am in channel mode, or the repeater channel memory system. And yeah, you can record channels for simplex as well. If I go back, now I can type in, there's my 146.580, and I can blow up all these radios, right? Some of them will have a function button that you will have to change depending on what it is you're trying to do. So keep that in mind, because you may have all these cool little printouts, but you may not be able to access them because you haven't figured out how to do that. Because if I'm just typing, it's just typing out frequencies now, and it doesn't care what I'm doing. It's not giving me the function of like the band access, the A and B channel, the VFO. So how do you get out of it when you typed in some boneheaded number? I'll just hit the PTT. That usually takes you out. Then you could do band as the 1 button, and there you go. Now I'm on 10 meters or 28 megahertz. This is a hacked firmware Quansheng. So just keep that in mind, as well as look at the faceplate, because that's going to change what your capabilities are as a user, and you should be able to unlock them when you hit an appropriate button, or know how to either hold the button down to be able to get access to it. And so if you thought to yourself, well, okay, so I just need to look for the words and the number, and I need to click menu or the F button, and then you're good to go. Not always. Kenwood has always kind of had a record for overloading a lot of the uses of their buttons, and that's not a bad thing, but at the same time, let's take a look at this. You have a number, and then a word above the button, and then a word on the button. And so if I click the button, what is it going to do? Oh, it changed my power output. So the button must have precedence right now. You need to keep that in mind as you're using this radio. If I click the button, now we're in high power. Now we're in low power. So how do I change to go to battery power, for instance? Well, I got to go over here to the F button, click it, and then hit battery, and there's my battery percentage, right? So that's how that works. If, for instance, I wanted to change my mode of operation out of FM, this radio allows you to do that. Hit the F button and then hit band. And now I'm in wide FM, and you can see I'm picking up some errant signal. So let's go ahead and get out of that. I'll see now I did the thing because I didn't click F before I clicked the band button, and now I'm stuck in a loop here. So now I'm in AM on this. I don't want that, so I want FM mode, FM mode, FM mode, FM mode, and now I'm back in FM. Right, so if I want to type in my simplex call frequency that I'm doing with all my friends here on these other radios, I need to click the ANT button for enter. What does that do? Well, it allows me to type in the frequency. So it's 146580. And now all my radio buddies start chiming up because I'm hitting them. Now, you might be getting glassy-eyed from this conversation thinking, why isn't it more like a phone? That's a great question because we've looked at, a couple of different radios here and they're all a bit different. So why don't they behave more the same? And the simple reason is that they're all running different operating systems. The iPhone is using iOS. Your Android phone is using Android. And so these phones will make hardware, buttons, and other capabilities that interfaces with the operating system. And the operating system is the same look and feel that you're expecting, right? So when you open it, you get all the apps and all the other things you want to click on that you'd normally expect. That's not the same with radio. Radio is going to have their own way of doing things. So the next thing that we're going to look at is power output, because this is a really important thing to keep in mind with all of your handhelds. So while you do often need full power out of this radio and into the antenna to make a contact over simplex, you often don't need full power to hit a repeater, again, depending on where you live. And so they'll have different ways of changing the power output. So let's take a look at the Baofeng as a benchmark. Scroll in here a little bit. If I hit menu, and then I hit TXP for transmit power, we're at high right now. We don't necessarily need high when I'm talking to my bro radios. So I'm going to hit menu, and I'm going to hit one of the up or down arrows to change that to low power, for instance. And I'm going to save. It by hitting menu again, and I'm going to get exit to exit out. And so now if I transmit, I'm still hitting all my friends because we're all sitting next to each other and maybe we're not that far away. But if you're on a repeater or trying to talk to a repeater, it's best to lower the power output to its lowest level and then work your way up until you're able to hit the repeater, particularly using a better antenna, than it is to always be transmitting at high power, particularly if you're outdoors. You want to save that battery. This is your depleting resource, much like water that you would have to worry about if you're in the field, or you just have an extended amount of time you want this radio to function. So save your batteries. Go low power. So now we're going to get in the weeds a little bit when it comes to repeaters, but this is very important to understand what's happening here. So we're going to treat these all as users of the repeater, and we could be separated by tens of miles, if not, I don't know, 60 miles. And my little war driver here is going to be my repeater. Let's say it's on a mountaintop. When a radio that wants to talk into the repeater transmits into the repeater, it's not going to transmit on the stated frequency that's on the display. However, you have that configured using chirp or whatever. It's going to transmit on an offset frequency, and that offset is going to be slightly off of that receive frequency. And the reason for that is that's what the repeater is listening on. You're going to transmit on that offset frequency, often called the input frequency, and that's going to key up this repeater to then transmit on the receive frequency for the radio or the repeater that you're on, and then all of these radios will hear it. The reason we do that is that you have basically simultaneous transmissions, meaning while you're transmitting onto the input of this radio, which is slightly off frequency, it's simultaneously transmitting out on the receive frequency. You don't hear it because this is a single duplex or half duplex radio. Now just think about this for a second. If you had this radio on a mountaintop, and let's say this is a 100-watt radio, and you're transmitting into it at the same frequency, and it's simultaneously transmitting out on the same frequency, chaos would ensue. They'd all be interfering with each other constantly. So you use something with an offset, transmit in, it transmits out, while you're talking and you can't hear yourself because you're not full duplex, then you can make contact with everything. That's how repeaters work. And it's more complicated than that, particularly inside the repeater station, but that's the idea. Now, how do we engage this offset where this radio is going to transmit into the repeater and it's going to transmit out? Well, first we got to get off of whatever that is. So let's go into menu, and under item 25 it says shift. Yeah, that's what that says. FT
Sorry,
stands for shift.
I'm just like making random
D,
noises because sometimes I'm
direction.
bored.
So I go to menu, hit menu again, I get a plus or a minus. If I'm on 70 centimeters, it's going to be a 5 megahertz shift, but if I'm on 2 meters, then it's going to be about 600 kilohertz. Now for repeaters, it doesn't really make it easy on you. So if you go back into menu and we go up to 25, we said go up, right? But we didn't say how much to go up. We have to set that. So let's lock that in. And we'll go to the offset. Oh, there's no offset here. The offset is blank. So I'm going to go ahead and set this to 600.
Offset frequency 0, 0, 0, 6, 0, 0. Confirm.
So now when I exit out of here,
Skedaddle.
it's shifting up in frequency. Which if there was a repeater on that location that's listening and it's open, which we'll talk about in a second, it would pick that up and go, oh, somebody's transmitting into me. I need to take that and go ahead and retransmit it. I'm going to go into this box at that up offset frequency and then transmit out to everybody else at that receive frequency. So what is that other thing? Well, there's more to this, of course. The repeaters don't want to just retransmit everything it hears. And so it usually has something called a CTCSS tone that tells it whether to transmit or not transmit. And if you're not transmitting that tone, it will not turn on, which then retransmits out. This is a way that we prevent
I'm sorry about that, but I was
from
constipated.
erroneously
That's fine.
transmitting errant.
Yeah, but now I'm curious, who are you, the OCs that you want to, I assume,
Okay, welcome back.
Are you just are you using them? Are you using OCs as in like they're just old ones that you want to use up, or do they kind of need a redesign?
Yeah, like a more recent one, yeah, like my old.
Do show. What do they look like?
Well, a lot of them is just like my old furry OCs.
I assume you still want to use furry OCs in general alongside the others we're making.
Yeah.
Well, I'm curious to know what they look like at least.
I don't have like the designs at the moment because I left my hard drive. So Johnny. Okay, so we got Johnny. His full name is Johnny Cottontail, and he's like a mechanic driver. I mean, mechanic rabbit. Uh,
Well, that'd be perfect for this world.
okay. Let's see. Let's see. Who else? Who else? Yeah, he's like he likes to invent stuff and all that, and then like he's at least smart. He makes like his inventions out of like junk or like computer parts that nobody uses anymore that he buys off from the scrapyard.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so he's kind of like an inventor.
Not gonna lie, it just feels like it would fit more in the Star Wars verse, if anything.
Hmm.
Like the way you described him, like he would fit the Star Wars verse, if anything. So I'm suddenly starting to like decide like should I make it the Halo or the Mass Effect one? Or should I make it the Star Wars one? Because I feel like the Star Wars one is just much simpler. We could easily make our own universe with it, large star destroyers and battleships and fighters. And I have a whole fanon list for this, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, I think maybe we might go the Star Wars route better. The thing with the Star Wars route is that we don't have to make it accurate to the whole six films. We don't have to. We could literally make our
Yeah.
own Star Wars universe with our with a different with like many like with a bunch of empires. Like they don't all have to be called the Empire. They could be called the Royal Empire. One should be called the Dark Empire or the Armada Empire. You know, like those
Yeah.
kind. Or the constituted empires. You know, cool sounding political names.
Okay. Like I was thinking of like Halo because I kind of had this thought of like maybe he could fix like that in that universe of like Spartans their like fucking armor gets damaged and he could just like fix it because he's like a tech whiz or whatever.
I mean, that was true, yeah. But in Star Wars, he would be aesthetically good from building uglies, which are fighters cobbled together, scraps,
Okay.
junks. If you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah. I think we had this talk a while back, and it's like, and also like he could like scavenge like blaster parts and make it look like junk, made out of
Yeah,
junk, and then just
I
like
honestly think I think the Star Wars one would actually work better if we did that one. Honestly, I think Star Wars is just it's very multiversal in terms of what they have because they have like every culture in that universe.
yeah, yeah, yeah. True, true, true.
I think we might go the Star Wars verse, and it's a good thing too because in case we go the Star Wars one and we need everyone to have like a fighter of some sort, I will supply fanon fighters, basically ships designed by fan artists.
Okay.
Who knows? You may find one that actually looks cool because I used to follow this artist a lot, and I mean a lot. So let's see what we could find. Yeah, so we can have multiple empires. We could have multiple republics. I'm also curious what if you had an idea perhaps regarding that. If you had an idea for an empire or a republic or a confederacy or a consortium,
What, the name or what?
like for factions, like I would assume people are from different factions. Like there'd be like two empires, because I definitely know that at one point there was two empires in Star Wars, so it makes perfect sense. Like there'd be two
Mm.
bad guys, but maybe two bad guy factions, but not everyone in them are bad guys, or at least one of them is.
Okay. All right. I'm still like
If you could
I'm still trying to come up
go on,
with the name. I was
uh, go on.
I was thinking of like Black Mamba, but no, I don't want to get copyright strike from DreamWorks because I got that from Megamind.
Yeah, I can see why. I was going for more like something very. Black Mama sounds more like a pirate faction, but that would
mm.
make sense for a pirate empire. Yeah, I was going like I guess. Do you want the empire to be like obviously like World War II, Nazi German, Soviet, Russia, Imperial Japan Empire, or do you want it to be more like Roman Empire or Crusades or Egypt, like Egyptian like enslavement with tribal.
I mean, it's really up to you, but I think I wanted something like maybe like World War II esque. I think I don't
Oh
know.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Remember, this is our Star Wars universe, so none of the movies or any of the characters exist, but the blasters do. I would think all the Star Wars blasters, the ships are all going to be different for this one. So there will be no T-65 X-wing. There will be something like a Fanon version.
Okay.
Because, like I said, I found a whole bunch of Fanon fighters that we could definitely make use of.
Hmm.
Next, uh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Also, why did you took so long in the toilet? Were you like laying an egg or something?
When I go to the bathroom, man, I like depending on how bad it is, I have IBS.
What the fuck does that
Yeah,
mean?
irritable bowel syndrome. So if I have too much stress in my body, I will go to the bathroom for at least an hour.
Oh my god, it reminds me of like a
Yeah,
Stuart K. Riley skit. I have irritable.
Lamau.
Do you know who that is?
No, but I feel like there's a joke around that. No,
So yeah, in one of his like YouTube videos, he starts with him screaming, "I have irritable bowel syndrome," and that's it.
lol, of course.
Yeah, you're taking quite a long, a while. Like were you go,
Yeah, like
were you go,
when I go on.
were you going through labor or some shit?
I don't think I ever want to experience that, bro. I don't think I ever want to experience that.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I'm still showing fighters, but I'm hoping one of them looks interesting enough for you. What? He's just still dying of that.
I just think it's
You just
funny.
cut off
I just think,
Lamau.
hey, Lamau.
Hey, Lamau.
Damn, son, what you can find this?
Mm,
Ooh-wee.
Lil.
Where did the Isla Mao alien thing came from anyway? I was like, why is it Isla Mao? Isla
I
Mao.
haven't. I honestly don't know where it actually comes from. I actually don't know. I just know that it's been heard. I hear it a lot lately.
Wee 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 wee. I remember during that era, there's the smoke weed every day type, like there's like
Oh God, not that one.
and
I remember I remember the stupid Thomas the Tank Engine version of that
yeah, so
fucking song.
smoke weed
Smoke, smoke, smoke weed
every.
every day. Damn son, where'd you find this? Smoke weed, smoke weed every day.
Yeah,
I smoke weed, smoke weed every
every.
day.
Ah!
Smoke weed every day. Smoke weed every day.
I
Smoke
remember
weed.
I remember
So
MLG 420, like MLG, like Blaze 420 Blaze. It was also like popular during
oh
that
my
era.
god. God damn it, yeah, I do.
Smoke weed every day. Smoke weed every day. Damn, son, where'd you find this? I refuse, like, bro. I refuse to believe a white guy could be that deep voice.
Yeah.
Like, it's so crazy because it's like he says it like real trapaholics. Do it with your boys. and then
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, like in the next cutout, it's like his voice goes instantly deep, like, "Damn son, what you find this?"
Lol. Yeah. Anyways, check out all the fan design ships by this one artist. His name is Adam Kopp on DeviantArt. I've been following him for like the last 10 years.
Okay,
He just makes absolutely like look at those. Those are 3D models, and then he paints. And I don't know about the backgrounds, but I think he just paints the backgrounds.
okay, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So any of those, I would you feel would definitely fit. Definitely a Star Wars furry character.
Hang on.
Yeah,
Wait,
and remember, we could literally make the any of the empires, or I can just look up other fighters too. It doesn't have to be those ones. I could look up like junk fighters and such, like the uglies too, in case you want the uglies to be like pirate fighters.
hmm. I like this one. The angular tie bomber or whatever.
Oh, let me find what it's called. It is called the Sinar Systems Tie. So what is it called? What is it called?
Tie.
It's called the Tie. It's called the Tie. It's called the Thai Special Forces Fighter. That's why it's called SF Special Forces.
Why is it so special?
Well, it's fan and design, so I think that's about as special as I can definitely know. I think it's supposed to. The artist said it's just supposed to be. It's a customized 3D, Tie Fighter model.
Okay.
I think it could be. I think it's probably an interceptor, maybe, or maybe it's a unusual fighter.
Hmm.
So if we have two empires, one could have
Uh,
all the
uh,
cool ties, and one could have like, well, I know both could have their own version of ties.
hmm.
So one with ties would be like the more asymmetrical, more correct, and the others would be like the disgusting, like un uncoordinated wingspans and such.
Hmm. Okay.
Also, yeah. So would that be so it sounds like Rabbit Boy would probably be serving in an empire, unless he's a junker and a scrapyard pirate.
Like yeah, I was thinking of like something like Finn, where it's like he joined the Empire, but he kind of regrets it.
Yeah, I'm still trying to think of two good names for the empire, for like the separate empires. I was thinking like the. I'm trying to think of a good empire name. Something that is like uh, something like the Royal Order Empire or something like that. If you know what I mean, like something like that. Royal Order Empire. So we call the ROE
What about the Royal Cascus?
Keskis.
Or
Oh, Keskis is an old ancient archaic.
mm,
I assume that's what you meant by that. Yeah.
yeah, or the Royal. I don't know.
Royal Keskis actually sounds pretty good. Actually, Royal Keskis Empire.
Mm.
Let's see.
Or how about the Orbital Catacomb, or I don't know, something Catacomb.
Catacomb sounds more like a kind of like a small sub faction, if anything.
Mm. Actually, cata-
It sounds more like a syndicate, if anything. It sounds.
actually, a catacomb is like an underground sewer, uh,
Uh, yeah,
coffin, graveyard
yeah.
coffin, whatever.
It honestly sounds more underworld. It sounds a lot more definitely
Yeah.
for pirates. Unless you want one empire to be like military-ish, the like actual empire, and then one empire is like a pirate empire, where it's like crime lords and such.
Mm. Yeah, sure, sure. I'm trying to think
So
for a name though.
yeah, so let's see. Royal Cascus Empire. That's one. Do we want a republic or an alliance? Do we want a republic or an alliance? The what? Someone's telling it to be like the good guys, but also probably be a flawed good guys.
That I don't know. I don't know.
You know, is it a republic? It's an alliance. It's a federation, a confederacy.
I don't know. This is a tough one. Maybe in an alliance. Maybe in a republic. I don't know.
It'd be funny. We just called it the Republican Alliance or the Alliance Republic. Just the on two on the nose.
Hmm.
Unless we have a cooler name for that.
Hmm. I forgot.
Hmm.
Sorry if like I'm starting to like say or sound weird stuff because I'm like my ADHD is acting up. I'm springing out
Uh, uh,
on
oh my,
what
oh my God! I found a name generator for fictional factions, and just guess what I got for a fucking royal name, the
what
Protectorate of Jizitan.
Jizz Whalers protector the protector of Jizz Whalers.
So fucking stupid. Oh, let's see, Galactic Alliance of something. So we could colonies of a glorious technocracy, the sector. So
Catacomb
Royal Cascus
sector.
M. What?
Catacomb sector catacomb or some shit.
Cat- Catacombs. The catacombs sector.
No sec, sector catacomb or whatever. The
Wait,
Rogue Empire or some shit. I forget. I forget. Hang on. Oh wait, shit. The fuck? Oh no, hang on.
I don't know about the backgrounds, but I think
I don't know. What do you think? What do you think?
catacomb sector honestly sounds like a cool name, but I wasn't sure if you were calling sector catacomb or
Yeah, catacomb sector.
catacomb sector. Honestly, sounds more like a financial group, like a huge conglomerate. I'd assume they're like probably I don't know. Did you want them to be a syndicate or more like an actual empire or just more like a well organized private military company, a
Mm.
PMC?
Maybe a PMC could work.
All right, let me actually put in parentheses what they are and say military empire,
Goat.
Royal Cascus Empire. Not gonna lie, I think actually no. I was thinking, do I want to call it Cascus or I want to say Cascus for a different name? Uh, unless do we want two empires? Like one, do we want two empires? Like one is more military-isk and one is more like Darksider,
Oof, that I
or do
don't
we want,
know.
or do we want less Darksiders and more military power than lightsabers and Force users?
I don't know. Up to you, really.
I didn't want to bore you with it. I just didn't think if you would be
I
okay
mean
with
that.
that.
I mean, there's like a lot to like take here. It's like I haven't thought of
I
that yet.
I guess while I'm going through that, I didn't want to discuss the Pokemon species you said you like the most. You like Ghost, Rock, and Fire types.
Yeah.
Do you like them because of the element, or you just like them because what they looked like before, or depends?
A bit of both. A bit of both. Because like
Gotcha.
I like their designs, but also like they're like really unique. Like for example, Blaziken or Hauntor or whatever are like
Oh yeah. Royal Armada Empire and I have an idea. The Eternal Cascus Empire.
the bountiful Cascus.
Mm. So Royal Armada Empire is a uh archaic. I'll say archaic.
What about
Armada.
what
No, no.
about what about Inorak?
Inorak.
Yeah, That's a word I
What
just
is what is?
I just that's just a word I made up. I was like looking for
Mhm.
Bionicle stuff. You know how like
Oh,
so like it's Visorak, right? So like I changed it, and you know how like Darth Vader and like Darth Sidious is like their last names
yeah,
is based on Insidious and Invader. Okay, so
yeah.
why not like Inorak? You know, Inorak.
Interact sounds like a last name for a character, if anything. Unless
Yeah,
you want it for a faction name.
or Norak. I don't know. Sounds like a evil bad guy name. No, if it's like Norak.
Yeah. And this will be like. I think
Inorak.
Eternal Cascade.
Cuscus.
Uh, I think so. Eternal Cascade will be a Crusader empire because they crusade people who don't religious Crusader empire. Royal Armada Empire is an authoritarian archaic empire. Oh no, archaic no. Royal Armada is an authoritarian monarchy empire. Catacomb sector is a private military, so it's a PMC. Uh, do you
Hold on, let me
prefer if I
check.
use official art of this of the Pokemon species to see which are your favorite, or do you rather use the Anthro versions to influence more?
I mean, it's up to you. It's up to you, really. Like, I'm fine with any.
Uh, okay then. Don't say I didn't warn you when I show absolutely big titty furry Pokemon waifus.
Oh, I'm coming. Oh my no, I'm gonna come if I see that. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm
Bruh.
kidding. Oh, I'm coming.
Uh,
I'm just
okay, so
joshing.
I know. So Royal Armada Empire. We still Royal Armada is probably bad in a sense of their reputation, but probably good, as in they are doing this good. They're doing trying to do good stuff, but at the cost of doing bad stuff. So a very flawed anti-hero bad guy. We still have not decided on the good guy's name. I'm trying to think.
I don't know. Phil Goodwill. Sorry, sir. Phil Goodwill. Or what about Protogonus?
Well, what?
Protogonus.
That sounds like a planet, if anything.
Like, hang on. Wait. Protogonus.
Honestly sounds like a planet's name.
It sounds too it sounds too similar to protagonist.
Oh, I think that's definitely a planet's name, Protogonus. It just sounds more like a Earth or a moon.
Sounds like a word play for protagonist.
I know.
A protagonist. A protagonist. Sounds like an alien
I th-
name. Now that I think about it.
pro. Wait, hold on. Proton. Oh, I have an idea. The Protogenic Republic
Mm,
or Protogenic Alliance.
or what about the protogenic guild?
I well, because we need a republic like the good people faction where they can because the idea is that the republic or alliance are the good guys. They're like the people who they basically you think of United Nations as like they're all trying to come together. It's like the Republic from Star Wars where they're all trying to in that Senate building.
Okay.
Yeah, so we need a republic name. But if you think Protogenic Guild sounds better, we can say that for a different like a sub faction.
Okay.
But we need a faction for for like Jedi hero characters, like for people who's a republic who want to protect the galaxy.
How about hang on. This version of the Jedi is called Tishi.
Oh, so the Jedi called the what?
The Tishi.
She has a Tishi, or they have two eyes, like three eyes or something.
And hang on, wait. Hang on.
She,
I don't know. Like I'm just like trying to brainstorm.
uh, I feel like it's more like a tribe, if anything.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it is the Jedi. I feel like Jedi or Sith are existent. It's just that they're gonna be called probably something different. Like they obviously there's Jedi Guardians, there's Jedi like Jedi soldiers. Sith would have the same thing. Sith would have like Sith, like obviously the Sith troopers, obvious one, but they're actual lightsaber wielding guys. Yeah, I think those names are they sound more I don't know, they sound very goofy.
Okay.
Where's
I got a name for a droid for
Oh boy.
I got a name for the name of a droid if it's a main character.
I don't know if it would be the main character, but let's hear it.
Bingo Bongo.
Oh my you know what? That's why did I feel like there is a droid named Bingo?
Bingo Boingo Oingy Boingy. I got it. I got the idea from Bingo Bongo from the band Oingo Boingo.
That no, that sounds more like an actual band in the Star Wars universe that does like the cantina music.
Yeah, Oingo Boingo, Bingo Bongo. I mean, that sounds Star Warsy. Bingo Bongo.
Yeah, but that definitely sounds more like like an alien like name, like a cantina band. Them doing like the trumpets and everything in the band. But it does at least does sound Star Wars.
How about Pinjito?
That sounds like an alien's name.
How about Jim Darang?
That definitely sounds like that sounds like a human, like a Star Wars human's name for certain. That could fit for a character.
How about Bob Marley?
You can fuck right off, bro.
Okay, no, that's too obvious. How about Stan Baldo? No. Stan Bibo? Bibo? Sounds sounds a bit similar to Max Rebo. Do you know Max Rebo?
Yeah.
Is that the name of the blue elephant, or is that like the
Yes.
name
It is. It is.
Bing Jonto? I don't know. I got shit tons of alien names. Bing Bongo? J J Carta?
It definitely sounds a Star Wars name for certain.
Yeah, J Carta. It's actually a word play for the from from the city that I lived in Indonesia
Uh,
called Jakarta. Jakarta.
that's where it's from.
Yeah. How about how about how about May Saurei?
So I cannot tell if if you're punning these names or if you're doing a name generator. It sounds like these sound so coincidentally way too similar in design.
Yeah, May Saurei is like a wordplay of America, like Missouri.
Ah, that definitely sounds a little bit more for a female character.
How,
It sounds like you're going for more. It sounds like you're going for more jokative names than than actual names.
I don't know.
Do you did you want this universe to be less serious and more more N as a W? Because sounds like it.
I don't know. Like
Honestly,
I want the names to have a ring to it. You know.
yeah. I usually go for the very obvious, over exaggerated names. Honestly,
Wait, like what exactly? Like, do you have an example for
well,
the?
I think one of my characters was just called, his name was Starkiller Eclipse.
Hmm.
The other and then the other was like I'm trying to think what the other name was. Though I cannot deny the I do have one character. He's a Leppy, which is a rabbit character. His name is Jack Rapids.
Hmm. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, the Leppy are the rabbit characters, so it would make sense why they are like that.
The Lappy is that? Isn't that the name of the Star Wars song? Lappy
No,
Neck.
no, 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 no. Lap T neck. The Leppy
Uh.
are the they're the rabbit alien species in Star Wars.
Okay.
Yeah, the Leppy is what the Star Wars Vision rabbit character is. That's her species, the Leppy.
Okay.
Mm, wait.
Wait, is it okay? Another one. Is it just me, or does does Bon Jovi sound very Star Wars?
No, that is way too on the nose. That's way too on like a way too casual name.
Ben Judy, I don't know. How about how about Lucas George?
Fuck off, bro.
You know how I got that name? You know how I come up with that?
Oh,
So basically, like the one Foster's Home from Imaginary Friends, when
oh God, not that one.
like the one where the twist is that Will's like creator is like like the is like Michael Jordan, but the names are like reversed. Jordan Michaels.
Actually I don't think I've ever seen that. I think I lost cable around the time that came out. Honestly.
Yeah, but you have to admit that's like fucking silly, all because they can't pay for the rights of like mentioning Michael
Yeah.
Jordan. Jordan Michaels. And he even doesn't look like Michael Jordan. Like the dude looks like fucking literally any other like black character.
Mm,
Such a defame. Like I understand that they want that fucking what's it called? Space Jam shit or whatever, but ugh. Ugh.
yeah. Now I wonder if, considering all these fire types, if you're gonna be pulling hot puns with them.
I don't know. I just don't know. Bingo bongo.
One, two, three, four.
Boingy boingy. I don't know. Dasha Krang. Cat Big. Slim Jim. Okay, no, that's too on the nose.
Is the other one? What's the other one?
Hang on, bear back. Hang on.
All right.